My brother mocked me as the mailman's kid at Christmas dinner, then gave me a paternity test as a gift, while everyone laughed. So I agreed to take it calmly, waited for results, and announced at his graduation that he was the one from Mom's affair and I had proof from Grandpa's lawyer. Hi there. If you enjoy heartfelt stories like this, hit subscribe, drop a hi, and let us know where in the world you're joining from. Let's get into it. The smell of cinnamon and roasted turkey filled our dining room that Christmas Eve, but I couldn't taste any of it anymore. My hands trembled as I stared at the wrapped box my brother Marcus had just slid across the mahogany table, that cruel smirk plastered on his face like a mask he'd perfected over 28 years. "Open it, Maya," he said, his voice dripping with mock excitement. "I got you something special this year." I should have known. The way everyone had been exchanging glances all evening, how Mom kept refilling her wine glass, how Dad wouldn't meet my eyes. My younger sister Jasmine sat frozen, her fork suspended midair, while Marcus's fiancée Lauren shifted uncomfortably in her seat. "Marcus, maybe this isn't the time," Aunt Carol started, but Mom cut her off. "Let her open it, Carol. It's just a gift." My fingers felt numb as I tore through the golden wrapping paper. Inside was a DNA paternity test kit, and beneath it a card that read, "Finally time to solve the family mystery. Are you really Dad's kid or are you the mailman's?" The room erupted in laughter. Marcus doubled over, slapping the table. Dad chuckled behind his napkin. Even Mom, my own mother, had this tight smile playing at her lips, like she'd been waiting years for this moment. "What's wrong, Maya?" Marcus gasped between laughs. "You've always been so different from us. Might as well find out the truth, right?" Something inside me went very quiet, very still. I sat there, the test kit in my hands, while my family's laughter echoed off the walls like bullets. This wasn't the first time they'd made me feel like an outsider, but it was the first time they'd weaponized it so publicly, so cruelly. "You know what? I'll take it," I said calmly, my voice cutting through their amusement like glass. The laughter died down. Marcus looked almost disappointed that I wasn't crying or screaming. That's what he wanted. A scene, a breakdown, proof that he'd gotten to me. "Really?" Mom's eyebrows raised, her wine glass paused at her lips. For a split second I saw something flash across her face. Fear? Uncertainty? It vanished as quickly as it appeared. "Really?" I confirmed, meeting her gaze steadily. "If Marcus is so convinced I'm not part of this family, let's settle it once and for all." Dad cleared his throat uncomfortably. "Maya, we were just joking around. You don't have to." "No, I want to," I interrupted. "I'll do the test. But I have one condition." Marcus leaned back in his chair, arms crossed, that smug expression returning. "What's that?" "When the results come back, we all sit down together and discuss them. As a family. No running, no hiding. We face the truth together." "Deal," Marcus said immediately, extending his hand across the table. "Can't wait to see your face when you realize you've been the odd one out all along." I shook his hand, feeling the cold metal of his college ring against my palm. If only he knew. That night, lying in my childhood bedroom with its faded purple walls, I couldn't sleep. The test kit sat on my nightstand like a live grenade, waiting to explode everything I thought I knew about myself. But the truth was, I'd always felt different. Growing up, while Marcus excelled at sports and got straight A's without trying, I struggled with dyslexia and spent hours in tutoring. While he inherited Dad's height and Mom's striking features, I was shorter, my features softer, my skin tone a shade different that I'd never quite understood. "You're just sensitive," Mom would say whenever I brought it up. "Not everyone looks exactly like their parents." But it was more than looks. It was the way they treated me, like I was a guest in their home rather than their daughter. Marcus got the new car for his 16th birthday. I got a used bike. He got a full ride to his dream college. They couldn't afford to help me with tuition. He could do no wrong, I could do no right. My phone buzzed. A text from my best friend Sierra. "Girl, you okay? Your sister just called me freaking out about dinner." I typed back, "I'm fine. Just tired of being the family joke." "What happened?" I explained, my thumbs flying across the screen. When I finished, Sierra called immediately. "Maya, baby, listen to me." Her voice was urgent. Something about this doesn't sit right. Why would Marcus do this now? What do you mean? He's graduating law school in 3 months. Your parents have been talking about his graduation party for months. Why stir up drama now unless... Unless what? Unless he knows something. I submitted my DNA sample 2 days after Christmas, at a clinical laboratory downtown where everything smelled like antiseptic and the fluorescent lights hummed with artificial brightness. The technician, a middle-aged woman with kind eyes, swabbed the inside of my cheek with professional detachment. Results in 2 to 3 weeks, she said, sealing the sample in a sterile container. We'll send them to the email you provided. 2 to 3 weeks. 21 days to live in limbo, wondering if everything I knew about myself was a lie. I threw myself into work at the community center where I coordinated youth programs. The kids there didn't care about DNA or family trees. They just wanted someone who showed up, who listened, who saw them. Funny how the children of strangers trusted me more than my own family ever had. Miss Maya, you seem sad, little Devon said during art class, his 7-year-old face scrunched with concern. Just thinking, baby. I ruffled his hair. Sometimes grown-ups have complicated feelings. My mama says family is supposed to make you happy, not sad. Out of the mouths of babes. At home, Marcus's behavior grew stranger. He'd show up at my apartment unannounced, asking casual questions about my plans, my schedule, whether I was seeing anyone seriously. Mom called more frequently, her voice tight with something I couldn't name. Guilt? Anxiety? Are you still planning to come to Marcus's graduation? She asked during one call. Of course, I replied. Why wouldn't I? Pause. No reason. Just checking. Dad avoided me entirely, which was somehow worse than the alternative. The days crawled by like wounded animals. 15 days after I took the test, something unexpected arrived in my mailbox. Not my DNA results, but a letter from my late grandfather's attorney. Dear Ms. Maya Thompson, it began, I apologize for the delay in contacting you. As the executor of your grandfather Samuel Thompson's estate, I have documents he instructed me to deliver to you, and only you, after his passing. Given the sensitive nature of these materials, I request a private meeting at your earliest convenience. My grandfather had died 8 months ago. I'd been heartbroken. He was the only family member who'd ever made me feel truly loved, truly seen. While Marcus was off at law school, Grandpa Sam and I spent Sundays together talking about everything and nothing, him teaching me about his garden, me reading to him when his eyes grew too weak. You're special, Maya girl, he'd said during one of our last conversations, his voice thin with illness. Don't let them make you forget that. When the time comes, you'll understand everything. I thought it was the morphine talking. I called the attorney immediately. This is Maya Thompson. I received your letter. Miss Thompson, yes. His voice was gravelly, professional. Can you come by my office tomorrow at 2? Can you tell me what this is about? I'd prefer to discuss it in person. But I will say this. Your grandfather was very insistent that these documents reach you before any family conflicts arose. He was quite specific about the timing. Family conflicts. My stomach dropped. He knew something. Tomorrow at 2, Miss Thompson. I barely slept that night. The attorney's office occupied the 3rd floor of a building downtown, all dark wood and leather chairs that whispered old money and older secrets. Mr. Harrison was in his 70s, with silver hair and eyes that had seen too many family dramas to be shocked by anything. Your grandfather came to me 2 years before his death, he began, sliding a manila folder across his desk. He wanted to ensure certain truths came to light, but only when you were ready to handle them. My hands shook as I opened the folder. Inside were documents, medical records, letters, and a DNA test result dated 15 years ago. But it wasn't my DNA test. It was Marcus's. I don't understand, I whispered, scanning the pages. Your grandfather suspected something was wrong in your family dynamic. He noticed how differently your parents treated you and Marcus. So he did his own investigation. Mr. Harrison's voice was gentle but firm. What you're holding is proof that Marcus is not your father's biological son. He's the result of an affair your mother had with a colleague when your father was deployed overseas with the National Guard. The room tilted. I read the document again, then again. The numbers didn't lie. 0% probability of paternity between Marcus and our father. But everyone always said I was the different one. The outsider. Projection, Mr. Harrison said. Your mother knew the truth about Marcus. Making you the scapegoat kept suspicion away from her secret. Your grandfather believed she encouraged the family's treatment of you as a form of misdirection. Does anyone else know? Only your grandmother, who passed before your grandfather. He wanted you to have this information to use or not use as you saw fit. But he made me promise. These documents stay sealed until after any public challenge to your parentage. My mind raced back to Christmas, to Marcus's cruel gift, to everyone's laughter. They challenged my parentage publicly, spectacularly. The seal is broken, I said slowly. Yes, Miss Thompson. The seal is broken. My official DNA test results arrived on a Tuesday morning, 3 weeks to the day after I'd taken the test. I sat in my apartment, Sierra beside me on the couch as I opened the email with trembling fingers. Probability of paternity, 99.9%. I was my father's daughter. I had always been his daughter. Sierra grabbed my hand. Oh honey, thank God. But I felt no relief, only a cold, spreading fury that started in my chest and radiated outward until my whole body hummed with it. They'd made me doubt myself, made me question my entire existence, weaponized my insecurities for their entertainment. And it had all been a lie. A cruel, deliberate lie. When are you going to tell them? Sierra asked. I thought about Marcus's graduation, now just 6 weeks away. Mom had been planning it for months. A huge celebration at a fancy hotel, 200 guests, speeches, a slideshow of his accomplishments. The golden child's crowning moment. At his graduation, I said. I'm going to tell them at his graduation. Maya, are you sure? That's nuclear. They made me a joke at Christmas dinner. Turned my identity into entertainment. Marcus gave me a DNA test as a gift, in front of everyone. My voice was steady now, cold. If he wants to make paternity a public discussion, then we'll have a public discussion. Sierra squeezed my hand. I'm with you. Whatever you need. Over the next 6 weeks I prepared meticulously. I had Mr. Harrison create copies of all of Grandpa Sam's documents, properly notarized and legally sealed. I recorded a statement with him, outlining the timeline of events. I gathered my own DNA results. Everything was documented, undeniable, irrefutable. Marcus called me occasionally, always with that same smug tone. Can't wait to see you at graduation, sis. Or should I say, half sis? Maybe no sis at all. Can't wait, I'd reply sweetly. I've got a surprise for you too. The hotel ballroom gleamed with gold and white decorations. Mom's favorite colors. 200 guests milled around tables adorned with centerpieces that probably cost more than my monthly rent. Marcus stood near the stage in his tailored suit, accepting congratulations like a king holding court, his law degree certificate in a frame under his arm. I wore a red dress, not white like Mom had suggested, not gold like Jasmine. Red. Bold. Impossible to ignore. Paya. Mom hurried over, her smile tight. I wasn't sure you would. Wouldn't miss it for the world, I said. Is everything ready for the speeches? Yes, your father's going first, then Marcus, then we'll have the toast. You're at table 7 in the back. Of course I was. Even here, even now, I was relegated to the margins. Actually, I'd like to say something too. About Marcus. Mom's face froze. Oh, I don't think that's necessary. I insist. It'll only take a few minutes. Call it a graduation gift. Before she could protest further, I walked away, taking my seat next to Sierra and my cousin Malik, one of the few family members who'd always treated me kindly. You really doing this? Malik whispered. I really am. Dad's speech was predictable, praising Marcus's achievements, his determination, his bright future. Marcus's speech was worse. All humble brags and veiled shots at others who didn't work as hard, or made excuses. He didn't name me, but his eyes found mine in the crowd and his smile said everything. Then Mom stood to introduce the toast. That's when I stood up. Actually, before we toast, I have something to share. The microphone crackled as I took it from the surprised MC. 200 faces turned toward me, a sea of confused expressions. I saw Mom's face drain of color, saw Dad's jaw tighten, saw Marcus's smug expression flicker with uncertainty. Hi everyone. For those who don't know me, I'm Maya, Marcus's sister. I want to thank you all for coming to celebrate this momentous occasion. My voice was steady clear. I thought graduation was the perfect time to share some family history. Some truths that have been buried for far too long. Maya, this isn't the time. Mom started moving toward me, but Malik stood, blocking her path with his considerable presence. It is the time actually. See, at Christmas dinner, Marcus gave me a very special gift in front of the whole family. A paternity test. Everyone laughed when he called me the mailman's kid, when he suggested I wasn't really part of this family. So I took that test. And the results were illuminating. I pulled the documents from my purse. My own DNA results in one hand, Grandpa Sam's folder in the other. Turns out I am Dad's biological daughter. 99.9% match. No doubt whatsoever. I've always been his child despite years of being treated like an outsider, despite the jokes, despite being made to feel like I didn't belong. Relief flickered across some faces in the crowd. But I wasn't done. Not even close. But here's what's interesting. While digging into our family's DNA, our grandfather, rest his soul, discovered something else. Something he documented thoroughly before he died, leaving it with his attorney to be revealed at the right time. Marcus's face had gone from confident to pale. What are you talking about? I held up the second set of documents. I'm talking about your DNA test, Marcus. The silence in that ballroom was deafening. You could have heard a champagne bubble pop. 15 years ago, Grandpa Sam got suspicious about why I was treated so differently in this family. He loved me enough to question it, to investigate it. And what he found? I paused, letting the tension build. What he found was that Marcus, golden boy Marcus, perfect Marcus, you're not Dad's biological son. You're the product of Mom's affair with her colleague while Dad was deployed. 0% paternity match. You want to talk about Mailman? Let's talk about the real family secret. The room exploded. Gasps, shouts, chairs scraping. Mom screamed, "That's not true," but her voice cracked, betrayed her. Dad stood frozen, his face cycling through emotions so fast I couldn't track them. Shock, denial, horror, understanding. Marcus lunged toward me, but Malik and Sierra intercepted him. You're lying. You made this up because you're jealous. I have the documents right here, I said calmly, still holding the microphone. Notarized, legal, undeniable. Grandpa Sam's attorney, Mr. Harrison, is sitting right there, table 4. He can verify every word. I pointed and Mr. Harrison stood, his presence lending credibility to my claims. The DNA test was conducted 15 years ago at the same lab you made me go to. The same lab where you were planning to humiliate me. Grandpa knew the truth, but he kept it quiet to protect the family. His one instruction? That if anyone ever publicly challenged my parentage, the truth about yours should come to light. Dad's voice cut through the chaos, quiet but powerful. Elizabeth. Tell me she's lying. Mom's face crumbled. She couldn't speak, couldn't deny it. Her silence was confirmation enough. Marcus turned to her, desperate. Mom? Tell them it's not true. But Mom just sobbed, mascara running down her face like black rivers of guilt finally released. The graduation celebration disintegrated into chaos. Guests grabbed their coats and purses, fleeing the scene like survivors of a disaster. Some lingered, phones out, capturing the family implosion in real time. I didn't care. Let them see. Let everyone see what happened when you weaponize someone's identity for entertainment. Dad walked out without a word, his shoulders bowed like he'd aged 20 years in 20 minutes. Marcus chased after Mom, screaming accusations and denials, his carefully constructed world shattering around him like glass. The law degree certificate lay forgotten on the stage floor, cracked down the middle. Aunt Carol approached me, tears in her eyes. I always knew something was wrong with how they treated you. I should have said something. I should have protected you. It's not your burden to carry, I told her, though part of me appreciated the acknowledgement. Jasmine stood apart from everyone, her face pale. She was 19, barely an adult, and this revelation shattered her understanding of our family too. "Did you know?" she asked me quietly. "Before Christmas?" "No. Grandpa left me the documents, but I only got them after Marcus gave me that test. He set this in motion, not me." "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I'm sorry we laughed. I'm sorry I never stood up for you." It was the first genuine apology I'd received from any of them. It didn't heal everything, but it was something. Sierra hugged me tight. "How do you feel?" "Empty," I admitted. "I thought I'd feel victorious, vindicated. But I just feel empty. Because that's the thing about revenge. It reveals truth, it delivers consequences, but it doesn't erase the years of hurt. It doesn't give you back the childhood where you felt loved unconditionally. It doesn't rebuild trust that was never there to begin with." "Let's get you home," Sierra said. As we left, I looked back once at the destroyed celebration, at the life I was walking away from. The next 2 weeks were brutal. My phone exploded with calls, texts, messages from relatives I hadn't heard from in years. Some supported me, calling Marcus and Mom out for their cruelty. Others accused me of ruining the family, of being vindictive, of choosing the wrong moment to reveal the truth. "There's never a right moment to speak truth to cruelty," I told anyone who would listen. Dad moved into a hotel. The divorce papers were filed within a week. 30 years of marriage dissolved by betrayal that had been hidden for nearly 3 decades. He called me once, his voice broken. "I'm sorry, Maya. I'm sorry for every time I didn't defend you, every time I let them make you feel less than. I didn't know, but that's not an excuse. I should have seen it. I should have protected you. I forgive you, Dad," I said and meant it. He'd been a victim too in his way. Marcus's calls went from angry to desperate to bargaining. "We can still be family. This doesn't have to change anything. Please, Maya. I'll apologize. I'll make it right." But how do you apologize for 28 years? How do you make right a lifetime of casual cruelty, of treating someone as less than, of building your confidence on someone else's destruction? You wanted the truth, Marcus. You demanded it publicly. You made my identity a joke. Now you have to live with what the truth revealed about you. Mom called once, crying so hard I could barely understand her. "I never meant for it to go this far. I never meant to hurt you. But you did hurt me. Every day for my entire life. You made me the scapegoat for your guilt. I'm sorry. Please, can we talk?" There's nothing left to say. 6 months later, I sat in my new apartment across town, boxes still half unpacked, starting over in ways I never imagined. The viral videos from Marcus's graduation had died down, replaced by newer scandals, fresher drama. Our family name became a cautionary tale on Reddit threads and YouTube channels. The woman who exposed her brother's paternity at his graduation. Dad and I had coffee every Sunday now, slowly rebuilding what had been broken. He'd started therapy, working through the betrayal, the lies, the years he'd lost believing a false narrative. "You deserved better," he told me during one visit. "You always deserved better." Jasmine reached out regularly, trying to forge a real sisterhood now that the fog of family lies had cleared. We were working on it, slowly, carefully. Marcus sent one final message. "I hope you're happy. You destroyed everything." I never responded. He still didn't understand that I hadn't destroyed anything. I'd simply refused to carry their lies anymore. Mom tried reaching out through relatives, sending cards, asking for forgiveness. Maybe someday I'd be ready. But not today. Not yet. Some wounds need more than apologies to heal. What I learned through all of this is that family isn't just blood. It's how people treat you, how they value you, how they see you. The kids at the community center where I worked, they were more family than the people who shared my DNA. Sierra, Malik, Aunt Carol, they stood by me when it mattered. Sometimes the most radical act of self-love is walking away from people who diminish you, even when they share your name. Sometimes the truth burns everything down. And sometimes from those ashes you build something better. Something honest. I kept Grandpa Sam's letter, the one Mr. Harrison gave me with the documents. "Maya girl, if you're reading this, it means the time has come. Stand in your truth. You are not the secret. You are the light that exposes secrets. I'm proud of you. I always was. If this story resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and share your own experiences in the comments below. Have you ever had to stand up for your truth against family? Let's talk about it. Remember, you are not responsible for carrying other people's lies. Your story matters. Your truth matters. Don't forget to hit that notification bell for more real stories about family, betrayal, and finding yourself when everything falls apart. I was his granddaughter. I was my father's child. And I was, finally, my own person, free from the weight of their projected guilt. The end wasn't happy. It was real. And sometimes that's enough.